Hey everyone, today I've got your Resident Evil The Final Chapter movie review. Does it end here for Alice for good when she stands against the remaining zombie horde? As far as the story goes, this movie is once again directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, aka Milla Jovovich's husband, who has been the main person to direct these Resident Evil movies, except for maybe a couple of them. If this movie being hopefully maybe the last Resident Evil movie, action picks up right away, and it seems like they are just, going all for what they intended to do. It definitely, goes all out with a bang. Even though I felt like the story, it was a hit or miss for me, even though I have been a fan of these movies, maybe at least the first 3 films, and then I feel like at times they've gone downhill, even though I loved seeing some of the characters from the actual video game, which is what this series was based off of, even though the main character isn't technically in those games. So I don't know how that can be completely canon, but oh well. So as far as the casting goes, you've got Milla Jovovich, who returns once again as Alice, and she's definitely had a lot to deal with this time, and I feel like in this movie she's just definitely searching for answers, because clearly there hasn't been everything said and done to complete her story, and yet there were some things that I saw in this movie relating to her character that I actually forgot when this movie was first in production, and then when I eventually saw it, I was just completely taken back by it, because it was really cool to see something like this, but I'm not going to spoil it for you guys who haven't seen the movie. But I thought it was just really cool to see. And then you've got other returning cast members. You've got Ali Larter, who plays Claire Redfield, who was first introduced to the series from the 3rd movie, and now she's back once again. I thought, like, they always make a good pair in this movie. Though we did have some newcomers to this series, like Ruby Rose and Zachary Levi, but then you can't forget one of the main villains of this movie, Ian Glenn, who I'm thinking, okay, so I just saw one of the latest Resident Evil movies, and I'm thinking, wait, didn't something bad happen to his character? Why is he back? But I don't know, it was really cool to see him here once again, and even Milla Jovovich's own daughter was playing the Red Queen. I thought that was really cool as well. The things that I did like about this movie, the overall movie was just full-blown, action-packed, fast-paced. Everything seemed to be just like that, with scene by scene. I did like that they tried to tie up some loose ends with this series. I did like to see, Alice kicking butt and, seeing all the zombies. Once again, I'm still thinking, how do you have, like, this small group of survivors up against these hundreds of thousands of zombies, and yet they at least only have one plan and so little time to take care of them, because they have to go on another, like, 2-day mission to basically end it all with these zombies and wipe them out. So I thought, like, that was almost seemingly rushing the movie per se, but I guess whatever. I guess they didn't care about that part. The things that I didn't really like were the quick cuts in this film, that I just felt like it was really hard for me to follow exactly what was going on, because the scenes were just going by so quickly, and the shots were weirdly in slow motion, and it was getting just really awkward to watch at times. And I felt like I did see some of the same type of stunts that were reused in this movie, that I felt like, well, is there any more originality, considering this is, like, what, the 6th Resident Evil movie that they've come out with? Some of the jump scares in this movie were ineffective, because, I mean, hello, I've seen all these movies. I pretty much know where all these scary parts are going to end up being. There were some over-the-top moments that I I felt like, really, is that necessary for movies like this? But I guess if it, you know, adds to that appeal of the Resident Evil franchise, then fine. I guess I can't complain too much about that. Overall, I would say that Resident Evil, the final chapter, was slightly disappointing. I really was hoping for it to be better because I had some of these expectations for them to say, like, okay, last movie, let's make it the best last movie of the franchise ever before they decide to actually make this series right and going along according to the actual video games. So I don't know if they're ever going to end up doing something like that. I don't know if I was as invested in this movie as I was with some of the previous installments. So I wouldn't really say I could recommend this movie to anyone, whether you have been a fan of this series or, you know, you're liking the zombie craze that's been going on, especially with The Walking Dead. But I feel like this is a movie that you could skip, but then you also want to be able to see how it all ends. So I would give this 1 heart on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Resident Evil the final chapter. How would you rank this movie with the rest of the series? And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates. Come back every week for a Child Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys later.